Arthur Pendragon. Arthur Pendragon is the current king and ruler of Camelot and holder of the holy sword Excalibur. He is also the host of Chaos and the rightful king of Chaos Contin no O. Before becoming a king, Arthur was a simple child who was adopted by a man who happened to be a holy knight and had an adopted older brother named Kay. Kay harbored a hatred for the young boy. Once, while they were children, Kay took Arthur's sword and offered to give it back to him if he crushed an apple with a stick whilst blindfolded and in the middle of a gorge on one of several platforms. Arthur completed this challenge with ease. Kay was furious at Arthur's skill and tossed the sword at him, which led to Arthur falling down unfazed while Kay smiled. However, Arthur was saved by a strange holy knight who was shocked and amazed at how Arthur managed to be brave and fearless whilst falling to his doom. He was also impressed as to how Arthur forgave his brother, even telling him he should be a king instead of a holy knight like their father. Arthur was shocked until it was revealed that he was Bartra Lyonesse, the 11th king of Lyonesse, as he wondered if he was never going to be a holy knight, as the king of Lyonesse and his two escorts, Slater and Hugo, left for a meeting with King Uther Pendragon. During the introduction arc, Arthur is rumored to have just become the new king of Camelot by the drinking patrons at Boar Hat in the small town of Burnia. In Camelot, a giant sword fell from the sky to the earth, where people believed that it was a holy sword sent from God. Every holy knight tried to pull it out, but they all failed until Arthur came and successfully pulled the sword, making him the new king of Camelot. At some point in time Arthur met Merlin, the boar's sin of gluttony, who became his teacher and resolved to rescue King Bartra from the holy knights. Appearance. In the 7 deadly sins, he's 16 years old and has a very youthful appearance, with messy orange hair and a long cowlick that falls over the right side of his face. Arthur also appears to be relatively short in height. Arthur dons a set of full-body gold-colored steel armor with a unique helmet accentuated by 3 horns, 2 triple integrals, and a cape. Later in the series, Arthur loses his right arm as it was devoured whole by Cath Palak. While using his chaos powers, Arthur's eyes become black while his irises become purple. In 4 Nights of the Apocalypse, he's 32 years old and is clearly much older and taller. He wears light clothes with flower symbols in the middle of his shirt along with a new dark cape. He's also able to make a new dark armored right arm with the symbol of Cath on its fist as reference of what happened to his true right arm. Personality. Arthur is a polite, young man who is still adjusting to his role as king. He takes his responsibilities very seriously, but usually undertakes them with a smile and has a very warm and happy-go-lucky demeanor. Despite his outward appearance, it would be wrong to characterize him as immature or oblivious as shown when he was a child. He was fully aware that his older, adoptive brother hated and even tried to kill him, but hopes one day they could become friends. 16 years after the Holy War, Arthur's personality is shown to have changed greatly, as the destruction of his kingdom and the power of chaos had a great impact on him. He is shown to be much more unstable and ruthless, cruelly punishing one of his holy knights without remorse. He seems to have adopted the idea that humanity and other races should not coexist, due to the calamities suffered during the war. Abilities and equipment. Arthur in the past carried a golden sword and was geared with golden metal armor. Arthur appears to be a very capable combatant as he easily blocked Hendrickson's surprise attack and simultaneously dealt a counter-strike, dealing a blow on the Great Holy Knight. Arthur's swordsmanship skill is far above that of an ordinary human, as Arthur was able to fight evenly with Hendrickson and had great speed. But Hendrickson knew that Arthur was holding back for reasons unknown. Arthur appeared to already have a high degree of strength in his youth as shown by being able to pull the sword Excalibur from its stone with ease. While Arthur himself does not know the limits of his own power, it is said that holding and using the legendary sword Excalibur allows him to access its full potential. When wielding Excalibur, Arthur is empowered by the souls of all the master swordsmen who previously wielded the holy sword, and as a result he possesses full knowledge of different swordsmanship styles from the previous wielders of Excalibur and can use them with masterful ease. Arthur also gains a massive increase in speed and strength when wielding Excalibur, as shown when he was capable of fighting against Meliodas in his assault mode, Zeldris, Cusack and Chandler, even although none of them were using their full powers. He seems to carry a type of immunity or resistance to commandments, as Zeldris was curious why his piety did not affect Arthur. He has also been noted by Orlandi to lack a presence, which explains his skill in sneaking up on demons and dispatching them without ever being caught. After being awakened as the King of Chaos, Arthur obtains the power of Chaos, who chose to coexist within him. Unconsciously, Arthur was capable of altering reality yet didn't possess any conscious control over it at first, unlike Cath, who showed immediate proficiency with the power after taking a fragment from Arthur's arm. but after overcoming Kath's illusion in their second fight, he was consciously able to manifest a mouth-like vortex to absorb Kath upon realizing how to defeat him and declared himself the King of Chaos, accepting his new power. 16 years later, Arthur's power and control over Chaos has grown considerably, being able to share part of that power with his knights through the Chaos Staffs, and also create numerous beasts, such as Sleipnir and Cernunnos in order to act as powerful subordinates for his knights. Weapons. Sequensu, a long sword with a cross-shaped pommel and quillon. It possesses the ability to revert itself back to normal if it were to be broken. Holy Sword Excalibur Saikonikusu. Excalibur is a divine sword solely of the human's making, which was imbued and empowered with the souls of the master swordsmen from all throughout Britannia who have wielded it in past millennia. As a result, the wielder of this sword is granted full knowledge and use of all the different swordsmanship styles used by the previous owners. Arthur was able to fight Cusack, Chandler, and Zeldris nearly simultaneously wielding Excalibur. However, it puts an incredible strain on Arthur because he wasn't strong enough to wield it properly. It was soon revealed to be the key to awaken Arthur as the King of Chaos, merging with him, letting him manifest it in a different shape at will. After accepting himself as the King of Chaos and absorbing Kath, thus retrieving the other part of Chaos, he manifested it as a new form that released amazing magic power as stated by Meliodas. Karnwenin Karunwenin, a sword made by Arthur's Chaos powers which generates a new blade every time it is broken. Power level. After becoming the King of Chaos, it can be assumed that Arthur may possess a very high power level, though exactly how much is currently unknown. Prior to obtaining the power of Chaos, Arthur's power level was stated as Total 40,000. Magic 37,600. Strength 900. Spirit 1,500.
If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later, bye bye.